For in Christ Jesus you are all sons of God through faith. For as many of you as were baptized in Christ have put on Christ. There's neither Jew or Greek. There's neither slave or nor free. There's no male and female. For you are all one in Christ Jesus.
Luke for us.
And I want to give you one opportunity to address a controversy that has popped up recently, which is Mr. Fairfax being left off some flyers in flyers that are run by your campaign. Black Democrat. A lot of people have taken some exception to that.
Well, we have a great ticket in Justin Fairfax, Mark Herring, and myself, and we're running a coordinated campaign.
So why wasn't Justin Fairfax on that flyer?
That was with an endorsement from one of the unions, and that's between the union and him. But I will just tell you that we're unified. We're focused on November the 7th. We're excited about Barack Obama coming tonight, and we're going to win, the three of us, on November the 7th.
I appreciate you coming on the show and talking to us about it. We're going to be keeping an eye on that primetime rally with former President Barack Obama in Virginia tonight. Lieutenant Governor Ralph Northam, thank you for being with us here.
Thanks for having me.
Coming up, we want to talk more.
A scandal erupting over the Democratic governor of Virginia. Virginia's Republican Party says he should resign if he's one of the people shown in a page from his 1984 medical school yearbook. The picture shows two people. You can see it right there, one in blackface and another in a Ku Klux Klan robe and hood. Let's bring back our legal and political analysts. Laura, what do you think of this? This is if it's him, it's a pretty big scandal out there.
If it's him in blackface, it's a problem. If it's him in the Klan, it's a problem. If it's him just pictures with his friends, it's a problem. And it's a particularly bad problem because we haven't heard a word from him. I don't know how long this has been up yet, but at least since this afternoon, and it's been radio silent from his camp, and he's going to need to say something pretty soon, but there's probably not that much that he can say to explain this. It's his medical school yearbook. He was an adult. There's not really much he can do here, and he's going to be in a really tough spot.
You know, David, and take a look at the page. It's got his name on the top of that yearbook page from Eastern Virginia Medical School back in 1984. And as Laura says, we don't have a statement from him yet.
Not yet, which is really surprising. I mean, this has been several hours now that a Virginia political blog first put this up, that we haven't heard from them. In fact, we also haven't heard from some other big Virginia Democratic players because they're waiting to see what Ralph Northam has to say. So there's just been this radio silence kind of thing going on right now. 1984, 25 years old. As you're saying, Laura, I've been spending the last several hours while we haven't heard from him yet thinking through what could he possibly say in this scenario if he is one of those two people depicted in that photo that is in any way going to be acceptable to people in Virginia. I think you can't just, it's going to be very hard to dismiss this as just a youthful medical school folly. This is going to be a real problem.
And this, the state Republican Party has already called for him to step down.
Yep.
And we haven't heard anything from the official Democratic Party at this point. Again, as you're pointing out, everybody wants to hear what Northam says. But, Kellyanne Conway has a very interesting tweet, which I think plays into this. And she says, this should be easier work than parsing every word and semicolon in the Kavanaugh yearbook. So remember that. Remember the Kavanaugh yearbook in which we did parse everything. This is a picture. It's not so difficult to parse. You just have to figure out who was under those costumes. And I don't see how Northam says it wasn't me, given the fact that the whole page is pictures of him.
And he presumably chose it. It's his yearbook.
Right.
It's not a surprise what's in your yearbook.
And you kind of wonder why this didn't come out during the campaign, and Ed Gillespie didn't have it.
Underneath the picture, it's an awful picture. There's a quote that's on that yearbook page. It says, there are more old drunks than old doctors in this world, so I think I'll have another beer.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of this situation here, not to be trite, but I just think there's no gray area. And if you're a Democrat, I don't think you can come forward and defend this. It's not a good look to be defending blackface or the KKK in any way. And it's not just that this story came out this afternoon. I'm sure, per normal journalistic practices, they went to Northam's camp this morning, maybe even yesterday, to say, what is this picture? Is this you? Do you have a comment? And it's been radio silence. So I don't know, I haven't touched base with the Northam camp yet, but it's inexcusable.
You know, and the irony here is the Democratic Party, Rebecca was just talking about the diversity in the field, and the party has been celebrating women candidates, African-American candidates, candidates from all parts of the country, and look at us, we're a great diverse party. And then this happens in Virginia, and it's like a human speed bump here. And so the party has to speak out about this. I know they're waiting for Northam, but as you say, it's not a good look. It's worse than that. Where are you?
Let's not forget, he beat Ed Gillespie, the Republican, for the gubernatorial contest in Virginia, 54% to 45% in the 2017 election. And a lot of people are already wondering, didn't anybody go from the Republican side look at his yearbook?
Especially after Kavanaugh. I mean,
I demand my money back.
Right.